Right, 1 second here. All right, welcome everyone to this Q&A. Again, want to welcome everyone. This Q&A question came up before. Whatever, it's an interesting question. Someone, I mean, they're all interesting, but someone had asked if a person, let's say, weather's good, right? Let's say the weather's nice, hanging out close. Yeah, is it a modesty issue when you're hanging out close to dry? To hang out, we'll keep this clean. To hang out undergarments. Yeah, the person asks, maybe, it should be done somewhere else, or it's a modesty issue, and I would agree. If you're gonna hang it, I guess if you'd hang it outside, hang it in a place where no one's gonna see it. Right? That's what I would say, or hang it inside. Right? Put it on I don't know, they have these racks, laundry racks. Right? You put it inside. Put the rest of the stuff outside. But yeah, that would be a modesty issue. There is what to be said also, let's say women women are doing laundry. And if women are doing laundry, I'm not even going to talk about undergarments or bras or anything like that. I'll say a dress. Right? Can a woman, hang out a dress outside? Right? You're going to say, what's the big deal? What would be the issue? So what would be the issue? Right? Seemingly, what would be the issue? So other people looking at it, you're going to say, why is that my problem? In other words, a woman hangs out a dress to dry, skirt to dry, a blouse to dry. Right? Save money on using electricity for the dryer. Very good. Yeah. Should that be your problem if, a guy walks by and stares at the dress and they have all kinds of thoughts? So there's an issue. Now, it's not the woman's fault, per se, but it could be that there's an issue of putting a stumbling block right in front of someone. Now, there would be a question, that would be by a Jew. So there would be a question, let's say, what about by a non-Jew? If a woman dresses immodestly, let's say in the summer, dresses immodestly, not that she should, but let's say she does, right? She causes someone to stare. Now, is that her problem? It's putting a stumbling block in front of someone else. By a non-Jew, it doesn't apply. That only applies to a Jew. Very good. Only applies to a Jew. So if it only applies to a Jew, a non-Jew wouldn't apply. Now, the question would be, even if it doesn't apply, right? Even if it wouldn't apply by a non-Jew, is this something a non-Jew should do? Right? What we would call, or I would call, a moral imperative. Are there modesty laws by non-Jews? Essentially, I would say no. They can dress how they want. People stare, it's their problem. Either way. How a guy dresses, how a woman dresses. Right? Be an issue either way. Or, sorry, would not be an issue. As a moral imperative, though, is it better a woman would dress a woman would dress more modestly, I would say, yeah, right? I would say, yeah, that would be the case. That would definitely be the case. Yeah, it's better, right? It's better, obviously, for a woman to dress properly. Obligation, no. Definite not obligation. I'd say it'd be a good thing to do. So, simple answer to this question would be that, hanging up undergarments outside, yeah, would be a modesty issue. Would definitely be a modesty issue. It should not be done, right? Definitely should not be done. So that being said, yeah, you got to be careful, right? 100%, I would say you got to be careful. You got to be careful with such a thing. Also I would say, at the end of the day, what's better? What's better is I would say that it's better to be safe than sorry. Someone will say, come on, it doesn't apply. Very good. But even if it doesn't apply, even if it wouldn't apply, still an obligation, right? Right? Or it's a good thing to do. Because obviously a person feels very different how they dress, how they look, right? Spoken about this many times, even though we don't base what we do on externals per se. You can have people dress the part, walk the walk, talk the talk. Doesn't necessarily mean they're Orthodox Jews. Yeah, doesn't necessarily mean that. But I would say that, you can have people that don't dress the part, etc. Could be more religious than people that do. Right? So you can't judge a book by its cover. Because to say, but they look this way, they this, or that. You're right. There are people who don't look so religious, could be very religious in many ways. They just have a problem with dress code. Maybe. Yeah, people that dress the part, but don't do what they should do. It's also a problem. 100% the problem. Yeah, they're doing it for any number of reasons. They want to fit in. They want to, I don't know, get a good marriage partner, whatever it is. Whatever it is, people get caught up, in externals. But we said before, you want to identify with the community. What you got to do? You got to dress up. You want to fit in that community. If there are multiple communities within your community, very good. Right? They can dress how you want. But if you belong to a particular community and they dress in a certain way, so simply we would say you dress like them, right? More or less. You stick out anyway. You just, you don't want to stick out, any more than you have to. And that was one of the best pieces of advice I got, I first came to Israel. That, you want to be like everybody else. Like if you're not like everybody else in different ways, it's harder. It's definitely harder. No question. All right, there was a question that answered. I think that answered that question. Now, someone asked a question here. Let me get to it. Someone asked, they were in Hebrew very good. It says, Tikkun Olam. Literally, to repair the world. What can we do to fulfill this? What can you do to fulfill Tikkun Olam? According to different so-called Jewish movements, i.e. the Reform movement, conservative movement, whatever, The words tikkun olam would have a very different meaning. Extremely different meaning. Yeah. Extremely different meaning. It might be things for the environment, planting trees. How do we look at fixing up the world? What does it mean to fix up the world? Why does the world need fixing? Isn't the world perfect, the way God gave it? Well, not exactly. Right? We messed it up, that's for sure. But how do we mess it up at the beginning? Go back to Genesis. Adam and Eve ate from the tree. So what happened? Brought death to the world. That's not a Jewish concept. Never was a Jewish concept. Never should have been a Jewish concept. But because man ate from the tree, God said, all right, everyone out of the pool. Right? Threw them out of the Garden of Eden. Because he didn't want them to eat from the tree of life. Because then you wouldn't get atonement. Right? Because it says you have to go in the ground. Right? God says, okay, you're not going to eat from the tree of life, because if you eat from the tree of life, hey, right, you live forever. Very good. Problem is, you won't get your tikkun. You won't get your soul fixed up, right, for whatever it's done, right, in this world. So in one sense, what does it mean, fixing up the world? Going back to the world the way it was right before Adam and Eve sinned. There's only one time in history that ever happened that we got to that point, and that was at Mount Sinai. That the Messiah could have come right then. Jews could have gone straight to the land of Israel. That would have been it. But what happened? Comes along Mr. S, Sutton, the evil inclination, the angel of death, whatever you want to call him. And he's like, I can't have that. Because if now the Messiah is going to come, I'm going to be out of a job. Right? God's going to destroy me. God doesn't need me anymore. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Exactly that. Exactly that. So what did Mr. S do? So the Medrash says he made an image in heaven of Moses in a coffin. Yeah, like he died. So Jewish people were like, where's Moses? Where's Moses? Right? They made a miscalculation. They're off by a day. So then there's the whole story in the sin of the golden calf. You got the whole story there. Now, because of that, the world went back to where it was. Yeah, and we're still trying to get back to that. And that's probably only going to happen when the Messiah comes, because we're not there. Right? We're not, we're close to the Messiah coming. Right? But a lot of things have to happen. A number of things have to happen before that. So even if we're so close, it doesn't really matter. Point is that the world was very different. Right? The world looked different. There was a difference. How evil was viewed was not outside a person. Sorry, was not inside a person at that point. They recognized things were bad, right? But they didn't have it inside of them, that evil inclination, at all times. So this will be a plug for the class I gave on theyre Hashem. Spoke about it quite in depth on the way of God, about what the world looked like before and after Adam's sins. I mean, this is a major, major concept, right? Difference between that, what it means to have the inclination inside of you, right? Because we'll just mention one thing. I don't want to, give away that whole class there, right? Or part of a class, right? But I'll just mention that what did Adam decide? How can he go against what God says? God gave one command: don't eat from the tree. Now he understood that if I have an evil inclination and I put it inside of my body, now if I do the right thing, I elevate the body, I elevate the soul, right? If I go in the right path. If I do the wrong thing, I debase the body, I debase the soul. In other words, exponentially I could get reward. Exponentially, I could pay the price. Pay a serious price. God says that's a great idea. There's only one problem. God says you're a heretic. Heretic? God's greatest creation. What do you mean he's a heretic? Yeah, God says, even in theory, I agree with you, you're right. That if you do the right thing, you go according to Torah mitzvahs, you elevate the body, you elevate the soul. I also agree, God says that if you do the wrong thing, you debase the body, you debase the soul. Very good. There's only one problem, God says. You know what the problem is? I didn't command you to do that. I didn't tell you to reinvent the wheel. Yeah, I wanted the world the way it was. So now I have to go to plan B. Right? And what is plan B? You have to die. According to Zohar, according to Kabbalah, right? First person the person's going to see when they die is Adam. And they're going to say, because of you, I had to go through this. And and Adam nods. At least that's what according to Kabbalah says. He's going to nod and agree, and that's part of his atonement. But everybody who dies, they'll see him first. That's what the Zohar says. So this is a pretty big thing. Right? So I spoke there, and I spoke many times, about this idea. People think what they do doesn't matter, and what they think in general doesn't matter, which may be true, because we always say, Dvarim shebalev eino dvarim. Words in my heart don't necessarily matter. Yeah, except for certain things like idolatry or immorality. Let's say a person in their mind would say, JC's my God. Or the short little fat guy, Mr. Buddha himself, is my God. They say, hey, Fatso's my God. They say it in their mind. They don't worship him. They're not on the ground, on the ground worshiping him. Not giving incense, not sacrificing. But thinking that could be a problem. Thinking immoral things could be a problem. Even if you don't act on it. So there's certain things. Certain things like that. But this is a game changer. Right? Why would I say it's a game changer? It's a game changer for one very simple reason, because you look at the world very different. Because the person's going to say, I'm an infinitesimally small speck of cosmic dust. I live in a small town, in a city, in a state, in a country, on a continent, on a planet, right? We're getting smaller. So you're going to say, my actions don't really matter. Really? Your actions don't matter? You have no idea what the repercussions of your actions are. Spiritual and physical. Physical we could understand. Right? Example we always give. Woman smokes crack while she's pregnant. Kid comes out deformed. Is the kid's fault? No. Is the kid punishable? No. Right? It might be something the soul has to go through, whatever, but that kid's not punishable. It's not of age. But isn't there reality? Isn't it true if a person does that, if a woman would do that, there's a very good chance there are going to be abnormalities for this kid. This kid will come out crippled. Very good chance, yes. Yeah, so the woman's stupid. Okay. Well, what did the kid do? He didn't do anything to deserve it. True. Because it's not punishable. Only by the age of 12 or 13 or by the age of 20. So it can't be the kid's fault. But there are repercussions. That's on the physical level. Spiritual level, no different. Two people get together that are forbidden to be together. They have a child. That child's called the mamzer. Right? We call a bastard child, the mamzer. Very good. Or not so good. Right? But what happens to the child? Who can the child marry? Someone of the same union or a convert? You're going to say, what? We're second-class citizens. Us converts, second-class citizens. Why can't they marry a Jew? Right? We're Jews. Why can't they, why can't they only marry us or someone from the same union? Because the Jew has a pedigree. That pedigree is because our souls were on Mount Sinai when God gave the Torah. So we have a pedigree. Non-Jew doesn't have that pedigree. Someone will say, come on. Don't you always say a non-Jew wants to convert their soul had to be on Mount Sinai? Yes. And it was probably a Jewish soul and then got messed up. How to get messed up? Intermarriage and assimilation. How does a Jewish soul become a non-Jewish soul? Good, that's Kabbalah. Speak about that also a little bit in Derech Hashem as well. But a person shouldn't think, oh, my actions don't matter. My actions don't matter. Who cares what I do? Oh, really? There are repercussions. Right? There are repercussions, which nobody wants to hear. We say it every day in the Shema. I do the right thing. There'll be food, there'll be water. Very good. You do the wrong thing, there's punishment. There's punishment, there are repercussions. Now, go back and answer the question. So, Tikkun Olam really means going back. Really going back to the way the world was before Adam and Eve ate from the tree. So, what do we do to try and fix up the world, so to speak? Mitzvahs. Because that was the question. What do you do? What do you do to fix up the world? Mitzvahs. That's what you do. That's what our obligation is. Right? Now, someone will say, what about non-Jews? Same thing. They can also do mitzvahs. Whatever mitzvahs apply, they can also do. They can also bring the world closer to redemption. So I heard someone once say, not a totally true statement, but basically, if everyone would be Noahites, there'd be no anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism would still be there, right? Anti-Semitism is always going to exist, right? Anti-Semitism is always going to exist. Anti-Semitism will always exist, but I would agree. I mean, it's only going to exist till the Messiah comes, but I would agree that if there were more Noahites in the world, there'd be less anti-Semitism. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean anti-Semitism is totally going to disappear, right? There'll be less. I would agree. 100% I would agree. Right? So, our goal to bring the world back to where it's supposed to be is every mitzvah we do that. Every pure thought we have, we do that. Every transgression takes us further away. So you might say, well, shouldn't we try and bring all the Jews back to Judaism? Sure. That's our goal, bring them back. I don't think it's going to help. I don't think the whole Jewish people are going to be saved by the time the Messiah comes. Definitely not. I'm a big pessimist in that. But bring back as many people as we can. You're going to say, but look at all the transgressions they do. Very good. He's not looking at them. God's going to say, you know better. You're not a potato farmer in Idaho, right? No offense. Anyone's a potato farmer grew up in Idaho, right? You're not a potato farmer. So you know better. So because you know better, the repercussions are much greater. The stakes are much higher. Right? And people say it's not fair. I came to a new realization, right? You tell me, and I know this from a number of people, they move into the Jewish community, they have all kinds of problems. They have all kinds of problems doing it. Yeah. Car breaks down, this breaks down, something else happens, storms, a lot of things. They're going to say, why shouldn't it be a little bit easier? What's the reason? What's the simple reason? God's looking at you in a totally different way. Totally different way. Totally different way. Whether it's fair, it's not fair. When you want to be close to the king, our actions matter a lot more. Otherwise, God can say, you know what, I don't care. I'm not going to give you a portion of the world to come. You did one mitzvah in your life. I'm going to give you the benefit of that mitzvah in this world. You have plenty of money, fame, all these things. Very good. That's it. Next world, you're toast. Kind of like a dog dies. Poof, you die also. Nothing happens. No portion of the world to come. Yeah, so what are we here for? Fix the world. We're here to fix the world. That's through Torah mitzvahs. That's for Torah mitzvahs. There's no other way to do it. Person can be, I don't know, a great physicist and in different things, but that's not bringing them. That's not bringing the world closer. That's not what it does. Right? That's not what it does. It could in some ways. Right? It could very well. could very well, in some ways, do that. Okay. But at the end of the day, what would I say? I would say at the end of the day, person, are you drawing yourself closer to God or not? Now, in your work, a person works. There are things that a person does. Not necessarily bringing godliness to the world. Yeah. Okay, doing things to make money, whatever it is, physical labor, not physical labor. Someone writes a book on tax law, let's say. Very good. Yeah, is that bringing more godliness to the world? I don't know. Finding loopholes, different things. I don't know. I know that's bringing God closer, so to speak. Showing other people, there's godliness in the world because he wrote a book on tax law. Tend to doubt it. Yeah. So I would say that it depends what a person does. If a person, even if they wrote a book on tax law, but they have good character traits, they keep Torah mitzvahs, or as a non-Jew, they keep what they're supposed to keep. Okay, that's very good. But is the thing itself bringing someone closer to God or not? Probably not. Right? Unless the person would see the intricacies of law and how it all intertwines, and this is not even Jewish law, right? How it all intertwines and how it works, and they see godliness through that. Okay. I'm in somewhat of a generous mood. I'll give you a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. Person learns Jewish law. That's a whole different thing. Put pieces of a puzzle together. Secular, you don't see that. You won't see that in any other discipline. You can see some aspect of godliness and everything, but it'll be much less. I would think it'd be much less over here. Somebody asks, what does the name Hashem mean? Name Hashem means the God of compassion. Right? Different names of God. Right? Different names of God. Right? You got Yud-K, Vav-K. Right? What we call the ineffable name of God. Or the unutterable name, distinctive name. Yeah. It means God is eternal. Right? That's essentially what it means. God's existence, is eternal. And that is the God. The name Hashem means God of compassion. Now, you have the name Elohim. Name Elohim, good question why it's in the plural, right? But Elohim means to judge. Right? God of judgment. Right? It's very interesting. Anytime a Jew makes a blessing, you say, God, source of all blessing, right? Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu. Say the word Elokeinu. I mean, not Elokeinu, but I'm not going to say his name now, right? I'm not making a blessing, but Elokeinu. What does Elokeinu mean? God of judgment. Very interesting. You're making a blessing, praising God for, giving me this water, this tea, this watermelon, this bread, whatever it may be. Very good. Isn't that God's compassion? Gives us wheat, ability to beat the wheat down, make it into bread, make it into other things. Yeah, I would say it's compassion. God gives us plenty of things that taste good. Otherwise, you wouldn't eat. Plenty of things. I was just in a store, and they have, I'm sure most people have heard, or if you haven't heard, something called bamba. Bamba's made out of peanut butter. It's like a small thing of like a peanut butter thing. They got all these different flavors. Right? They got, regular flavor. They got, halva flavor. They got chocolate. They came out with a new thing. came out with a new thing. Well, there, one of my kids tried it, right? It's chocolate brownie. Chocolate brownie bump. So you got like, peanut butter in it, you got brownie in it, a blessing chocolate. That's the easy part, right? It's not enough, wouldn't be enough mazonos in there anyway. I don't even know if there is mazonos in there, but it should be shahakol, right? Regardless, someone asks, it's like, so, yeah, she was like, is this any good? I was like, yeah, try it. She was like, oh, it's way too sweet. Nah, I'm not even going to try it. It's way too sweet. Yeah. But why did God make things sweet? And probably totally unhealthy and probably kill you in the process. Because the person has society. He gave, Hovas Levavo says that in Shar HaBechino, Gate of Reflection, he says, God put the DNA of every person to want to eat and to want to drink. Because if God didn't, guess what? You wouldn't eat or drink. You die of starvation. So of course, God had to make, allow things to be made that we could eat, that we'd enjoy. Yeah, all kinds of things. And probably totally unhealthy also. So, you have to eat unhealthy. You have fruits and vegetables, grains, all kinds of things. Very good. Right? Very good. But if you didn't do that, if you didn't do that, then what? Then what would I say? You'd starve. Person would totally starve. No question. Right? No question about it. So God gives you desire to eat. Right? He gives you the desire. He gives you the desire to drink. Because if he didn't, what would happen? You die. Very simple, you die. So yeah, there are, different, so let's get back to that. There are different names of God represent different aspects of who God is. God of power, God of mercy, God of judgment, right? A lot of different aspects of one. We can only say what God's, we can't really say what it is, right? As the Chosavov says in the beginning of Duties of Heart, right? Shar Yichut, the essence of God's existence. We can't say what he is. We can't say what his essence is. We can say he has this, he has that, the other thing, but we can't say what he is. His main essence. But he's got different aspects. Different aspects. Somebody asks, should an Noahide worry about Ayin Hara? No. Ayin Hara, the Gemara says, 99% of people die from it. Right? Jews die from it. What is Ayin Hara? Just very quickly. If a person makes somebody jealous, not necessarily, if it's on purpose, yeah, the bigger problem. Right? Even not necessarily on purpose, what happens? Person builds an extension to their house. Yeah, they got a lot of money. They build an extension. They, go on fancy vacations, fancy cars, this, that. Now, someone else doesn't have that kind of money. They get jealous. They feel bad. Maybe they can't build. Maybe they can't do this. Okay. So what happens at that point? Mr. S says, hey, God, look what's going on over here. They're making this person feel bad. God says, really? Let's see. Let's open up his file. Let's see. Let's see what he's doing. So what happens? Remember, the only time you ever want your file opened is on Rosh Hashanah. That's day of judgment. It's the only time you want your file opened. Never before. So, person has their file opened. And God's going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. I don't know how many people are going to survive that. But you made someone feel bad. Now, if you made an extension on your house, let's say a neighbor did that, right? Made an extension, had a lot of kids, needed, made 2 bedrooms. Okay. I don't think anyone's going to be jealous. Why need the space? Someone couldn't build and they wish they could have. And okay, but I don't think it's going to be an issue over here. Right? He's not making someone feel bad. Totally not making anyone feel bad. right? Right. So what happened? So he gets judged. God's going to judge it now. If that's the case, if that is the case, how many people are going to survive that? Now, if they didn't do anything wrong, very good. But the second someone makes someone feel bad or make them jealous in that sense, I would say they're in trouble. Right? What's the problem? Problem is, you're going to get judged now. Your file's been opened. You can say it's not fair. My file's open. Doesn't really matter. You're being judged now. If I didn't do anything wrong, maybe you didn't. Maybe the person's just blowing smoke and complaining for no reason. It's not your fault. It's not your fault they can't build. You're not doing it to be ostentatious. You need space. You need space. So that's not your fault. Totally not your fault. Okay. So if that's the case, then you didn't do anything wrong. But if God sees that really you're doing it to flaunt it or whatever, you're in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. Now, that being said, there are a number of signs according to Kabbalah. But without going into all that, the question is, does that apply to a Noahide? I would say no. Shouldn't apply to a Noahide. Again, I would say, even if it doesn't apply, if a non-Jew has money, be careful. Give it to the right places, give charity, help others, don't flaunt it. Don't make people feel jealous. Now, does that mean even if you did, you're going to get the evil eye? No. But that's something good to do. Does that mean you can't go on vacation? No. But you want to use it to help others as well. Somebody asks, is JC the secret Messiah ben Yosef? I would think not. Totally think not. And why should he be? False prophet. Why would a false prophet be? Why would the false prophet be one of the messiahs, one of the future messiahs? It's kind of a problem. You got to fulfill certain things to be one of the messiahs, to be either messiah. He didn't seem to fulfill any of them. Question, is it allowed to buy something with a credit card thinking, I'll pay for it somehow if you can't afford it? That's a problem. You could do it. Is it a good thing to do? I would be very careful. I thought people ring up credit card debt, right? If you have an idea where it's going to come from, and at least you're going to pay the minimum amount when it's due, so they don't get problems. It should be something that you absolutely need, right? The problem is people put things on there and then they get in trouble, right? So you want to be, careful of that. I heard from a rabbi there is a Mashiach ben Dat. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, somebody asked, person was sick, they were in a coma, being punished. Is that being punished? Or my deceased grandparents being punished? Why? My coma saved me. Changed in a way it seemed, in the end, I'll grow, be closer to God. So usually anything that happens to a person, normally we say, when do the children pay for the sins of the parents? Right? Torah says, children pay for the sins of the parents. But what does that mean? In what context? Right? The commentaries say, it means that if a child goes in the wrong ways of the parents, if they go in the negative ways of the parents, that applies. that curse applies. If the child, let's say parents have bad character traits, right? Whatever bad character traits. So if the child does not go in that way, then it doesn't apply. Right? You got to, in general, I would say, without getting into, anything Kabbalistic or anything else, I would say whatever we go through in this world, 99%, give or take, I would say you're going through it because of what you've done. Your actions. Now, if it happens to a child or someone who's not, of age to be punished, that's a different calculation. But obviously, if someone's older, no matter what a person went through, it's because of what they need to go through, because of what they've done. Now, a person can go through a coma, can have an out-of-body experience and different things, but sure, that can draw them closer to God. That there's no question, because now they know the truth. They've been in that world. They see the soul, that hovers over the body, exactly what Kabbalah says. They see their life flash before that, right? Most people who've gone through an out-of-body experience say the same thing, right? They doesn't matter, man, woman, child, older, younger. Now, some people say, they say they saw the Prophet Muhammad, they saw JC. I don't know, I can't answer for that. But, other things that they saw are exactly what Kabbalah says. Right now, when they get put back in their body, they're given another chance at life. Because if God didn't give another chance at life, they die. Right? Pretty simple. So God obviously gave another chance for a reason. Right? And there are many stories like this. Yeah, there's a book called The View from Above. A woman got clocked, and that secular Israeli got clocked on the head by a beam, fell from a construction site or something, 5 flights or whatever it was, got clocked on the head, had an out-of-body experience, all these things happened, came back to her body, took her 7 years to become an Orthodox Jew. 7 years. Why isn't it, instantaneous? Okay, she had to go through, rehab and different things and, get her body back, but, while she was searching for meaning and what it all, what the whole thing meant, obviously people try and discourage her, like, come on, what are you looking into that stuff for? You're secular, you brought up secular, different things. Yeah, so just because, a person, let's say it happened when a person was, I don't know, person's in their 40s. So you got to tell me all of a sudden overnight they're going to be, a religious person? But they saw the truth. They got clocked on there. They're not a body experience. They saw the next world. They saw the spiritual world. They know now there's a soul. It takes a long time to get this garbage out of your head that you've been in this world. Take you a very long time. Yeah. It's not going to be automatic. You see, even by the evil prophet Bilam, the evil non-Jewish prophet, he had prophecy. He could figure out the split second when God got angry. Wasn't a dummy by any stretch. He still wanted to curse the Jewish people. Didn't make him righteous. It's pretty amazing. I say, come on. You have that kind of experience. You can have that kind of connection to God. Okay, use it for the wrong thing. Very good. Or not so good. Yeah. Okay. But what did he do? He become righteous. That did not make him righteous. Doesn't happen overnight. That one does not happen. So the question is, were you being punished by my parents or my deceased grandparents? I would say it's punishment for the person, not any relatives. Because the only way a person is going to get punished by the parents is because they go in the negative ways of the parents. Something like that has nothing to do with the parents. Yeah. That shouldn't have anything to do with the parents. It should have to do with whatever a person's done in their life. Somebody asked, do all know how to have share in the world to come? So it says all Jews do, but the plenty of Jews are not going to have a portion of the world to come, as the Gemara says. Plenty of Jews. Yeah. Some say, no, I have a smaller portion. No. Who says you're going to get a portion of the world to come? You desecrate Shabbos in public. Unless you repent, you lose your portion of the world to come. Person into marriage, you lose your portion of the world to come. Unless, got divorced, you repented, whatever, I don't know exactly. But there are plenty of things a Jew could lose their portion of the world to come. Now, can a Noahide have a portion of the world to come? Yeah, the Ramchal brings that back to theyre Hashem, the way of God. He says that clear. Others say the same thing. Non-Jew can have a portion of the world to come. Now you're going to say, all non-Jews? No. All idolaters? Death penalty. If they don't repent before they die, why does they have a portion of the world to come? It's one of the 7 Noahide laws. That's most of the known world we know today. Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, right? We'll give Islam a little bit of a pass because they believe in one God. We hold they believe in one God. Okay. Yeah, but you got these major religions, tens of millions of people going to be wiped off the face of the earth. Unless they repent. Do you want to say, all Noahide have a portion of the world to come? Right? Sorry, misread the question. All Ben Noach have a share in the world to come. Sorry. If they're Ovdei Avodah Zarah, right? Then obviously they're not going to have a portion of the world to come. A Noahide, if they're going in the right path, right? Let's say they keep the Noahide laws. Very good. If they keep the Noahide laws and they do what they're supposed to do, and they repented from all the things they did wrong, yeah, why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they? Now again, I'm not God, so I can't judge it. But I would say if they're going in the right path, they should have a portion of the world to come. And Jews who are going in the right path, they may fail here, fail there. There are different things they shouldn't do. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't mean they're going to be damned forever. They certainly going to have a portion of the world to come. Yeah, let me see other questions here. It says, let go for the last year's being as close as time as humanly possible. Okay, gotta work hard. Right? We all have a lot of work to do. Right? In order to do that. It's a good goal. Definitely a good goal. Let me see. What is the general rule for a convert when choosing to abide by certain customs? A convert chooses to follow Sephardic tradition, even though he's from Jews who lived in Eastern places, or Mizrahi tradition, or should he do the same? So first answer is you can choose whatever you want. It would be kind of funny, if a person did look, very dark skinned coming from, that part of the world, right? Let's say they came from, that area. Let's say, I don't know, Morocco, Tunisia, these places came from India, wherever, very dark skinned, right? It'd be kind of funny, if they were Ashkenazi. They could be. I'm not saying not. I'm not saying not, but if they want to be Ashkenazi, they could. They can change any tradition they want. Do they have to go according to the tradition where they grew up? No. They certainly don't. Related question, okay. Related question. Some traditions are going more reliable than others. For example, Ashkenazi traditions are more reliable than Sephardic Yemenite tradition. It depends who you ask, right? Always depends who you ask. Some will say many things that Yemenites do, are much more closer to the source than what we do, than what Ashkenazi do. Yeah. So I would tell you, it depends which way you go. Right? It depends which rabbi you're going to follow, as well. Is it better to go this way or go that way? Can't necessarily answer that. I will say, the only thing I will say is you want to be part of something. You want to be part of something where, whatever traditions you're following, there's a rabbi that's alive. Not someone who's dead. And I have that's no offense to anyone, who wants to be Chabad. Yeah, I got, plenty of rabbis there. The main rabbi is no longer there. Right? Even though some of them believe he is the Messiah, whatever, that's a problem, but I'm not going there. Right? That is a serious problem, of idolatry. Right? There are people that want to be Breslau. They like to sing and dance a little bit more. They like teaching a Rabbi Nachman. Okay. But also not in this world. Totally not in this world. Brought a lot of books to the world. And a lot of, famous students, prominent rabbis by them. Okay. That's true. I'm not going to deny it. Someone feels drawn to it, very good. But I would say, again, my opinion, I would say always be better, be part of a group where the rabbi's alive and not dead. That's what I would say. So how do you navigate that? You go where your heart tells you. If that doesn't help, then, whoever your rabbi is going to be, then he'll help you navigate it. I was going to say, or she'll help you navigate it. No she rabbis here, right? They will help you, navigate that path. There are people that convert, that, they feel that the Litvish world, the Lithuanian world, let's say, is too dry. Is too dry, so to speak. It's all about learning and, sing and dance enough or whatever it is. A lot of them become Hasidic. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not going to say what the numbers are. I don't know what the numbers are, but I think there are plenty that become Hasidic because, they think the yeshiva world is kind of dry, which there is what to be said for that. Right? I'm not going to go into detail. There is what to be said for that. 100%. But it depends where your heart tells you. And if you're not sure, so then, you got to go, I would say best way to do is check out some communities. Check it out, do your research and see if that's where, you would fit in or you think you would fit in. Somebody asks, someone asks, okay, the child is sick, got poison oak. Oh, yeah, legs are swollen. Are you being punished? It seems life-threatening. Listen, we can't know why things happen. Why does someone who's perfectly healthy, relatively healthy, and one day they get hives over their body, scabs, have a rare, skin disease that like only 100 people in the world have ever had. Legs are swollen, can barely walk. Why did that happen overnight? Good question. Isn't sickness, payback for sin? That's what I would say. Yeah. Now, this person happens to be married to a non-Jew. Is that the reason? Anybody's guess is as good as mine. Yeah. But remember one thing. When a person gets hit anywhere in the body, whether it's the arm, the foot, the head, whatever it is, it's payback for something you did with that part of the body. Now, someone's going to say, but you got it all over your body. Yeah. So what would I tell you? Right? What would I tell you? Then the punishment, whatever they did with the entire body. Entire body sin. Now, even if a child gets sick, even if a child gets sick, remember, if the child's underage, it has nothing to do with the parents. Right? It's not punishment. If the child's older, let's say before the age of 20, there's still something else going on. Because it's still not punishable till the age of 20. If they're over the age of 20, then it's their own fault. It's not the parents' fault. It's their own fault. Yeah. You hear stories. I just heard this heart-wrenching eulogy, by mother of an American who was held captive and was killed. Right? It was killed, and so at the funeral, basically she said, they turned over every stone to get him out. She asked for forgiveness, she didn't do enough. Yeah. Okay. At the end of the day, it is ironic. I'm not going into politics, but it is ironic. The person survived for 300 days. 333 days, I think it was. They survived. Yeah. And they were close to getting them. These maggots shot him afterwards. So there was a decree the person was going to die. And they lived day in, day out. I mean, however many of them left. Some of them, if some of them come out alive, great. Yeah. But, God should save all of them. But if they die, whoever died, there was a death sentence. Why was there a death sentence? So anyone can answer the question as well as me. But there was a death sentence, right? I heard people say, yeah, they were at this festival. Yeah, there was a Buddha there. Yeah, it was on Shabbos. Yeah. It was the last day of it was the festive day of Simchat Torah. Or Shmini Atzeres here. Desecrated that day. True. But that's not why they were killed. Can't be that's why they were killed. Why not? Because it's already decreed by Rosh Hashanah. So they must have done other things to deserve that. We spoke about that. But I will say, not near any rabbi, no rabbi said that's the reason they died. And near anybody say that. Nobody knows why. Now, being at a place like that, desecrating the holiday, having a Buddha there and other things, yeah, that's a problem. That's a serious problem, but that's not why they died. That's not why the people there were killed. And whatever else happened. There was already a death sentence on them. Yeah. So, if it's a child, again, if it's a child underage, it's not their fault. Whatever they got, they're not punishable by. If they're over the age of 20, then they're punishable. So a parent doesn't have to say, what did I do to deserve this, and that? It's the kid's fault. Something they did, I don't know. Parent doesn't have to think, I did this, I did that. It could be sometimes that's the case. The kid pays the price for the sake of what the parents do. But that's only if they go in the negative way. If they don't go in the negative way, it doesn't apply. So people should not have these guilty feelings. They should not have these guilty feelings. Because there are things we can't explain. There's no possible way to explain. How do you explain someone over the age of 60? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, gets this rare disease only 100 people in the world have. 100! How many people in the world? Billions. You have 100 people in the world got it, have had it. I mean, taking certain medication, hopefully it's going to help. And it should help over time. But how do you explain one day all of a sudden that happens, you wake up when that happens? Why then? Don't know. Someone got exposed to something earlier in life, it only comes later and comes out in a major way, and it could kill them. So why does God wait? Why didn't he take him straight away? Again, I'd be getting paid a lot more if I had the answers here. Nobody knows. Now, some things happen because we did to ourselves and we weren't careful. See, God's going to surprise us also. He's going to say, after 120 years, we're going to say, after they die, why did you do this, do that? I said, I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. You went against Kaufman's 614 commandment. Don't be stupid. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. You chose to do it. Okay. God says, I have to stop you every time. So a lot of times I stopped you. This time I didn't. Person was reckless. That God's fault? Oh, what did I do to deserve that? The person was reckless. Had nothing to do with you. They're reckless. So why did God save them? Why did God help them? Why did he break every bone in their body? Why do people go through like a major car accident and come out without a scratch? Other people get a major car accident, they die straight on. Why do these things happen? Right? Your guess is as good as mine. Definitely guess as good as mine. Somebody asked, can a Noahide eat a non-kosher food? Why not? Is a Noahide Jewish? No. They're not Jewish. Right? So they can eat non-kosher. There's the whole question why they should eat kosher anyway. They'll say, I want to eat clean animals, blah, 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 but doesn't affect them. Right? The Kli Yakar says, the book of Leviticus chapter 10 or chapter 11, he says that you see, non-Jews eat all kinds of creepy, crawly things, and who knows what doesn't affect them physically like it would a Jew. So since it doesn't affect them, why would they keep it? Why would they do it? So can a non-Jew eat non-kosher? Yes. Is there a middle ground? Is there a middle ground? No middle ground. Yeah, if a person wants to find a middle ground, yeah. The Rambam says you have a middle path. Right? You try and find the middle ground. Different things. It's one thing you don't find the middle ground by. Anger. No middle ground. Or by being conceited. No middle ground. No middle ground. Somebody ask, can my conversion course be used? The reference for a basin of that place. Depends where it is. Some places will say yes. Some places will say no. Some places will say, I could be the second coming of Moses. They wouldn't accept it. Why not? Because they're their own teachers. London's like that. A few other places like that. Right? But it doesn't mean that the knowledge people are getting is bad. Right? It's not accepted everywhere. Right? Plenty of places in the States for sure it's accepted. It's not a problem. There are a few places in the world that won't accept it. Right? London being one of them. London for sure being one of them. But again, they have their own teachers. So what I do is a little bit dodgy. So as the English would say. A little bit dodgy because most people I'm not there, very good, but for a lot of places it is good. Right? Or would they still require to go through their own curriculum? It depends. When a person went through my class and could answer questions by the basin, they're not going to be going through the same material again. I got a basin now. I'm working through with somebody that they wanted to work on certain things, so they reached out to me, right? Take them through certain things. Okay. Yeah. But there are gaps in their knowledge. But they didn't really take a formal class. They got information here, there, other places. Very good. Very good. Yeah, but it's not thorough. Wasn't thorough. They're doing a lot of stuff on their own. They have basic knowledge. They have a good amount of knowledge. Probably going to convert soon, right? But I can see I see where the questions are. I see there are certain things that are missing. But again, if a rabbinical court would say, if you could answer their questions, if they would say, you have to take all these things all over again, that would be cruel. If they saw you had knowledge, right? Wouldn't make sense to do that. It's a waste of time. Waste of time, waste of money. If they see you have gaps in knowledge or you're lacking knowledge or whatever, okay, they'll tell you to read this, look at that, other things. Why does my Uncle Robert change the tune of Shabbos songs every now and then by Ochadodi? Because if you sing the same song every week, it gets boring. Yeah, so it's good to have a mixture. Why not? If everybody likes the same tune, go to the top, don't change the tune. Right? I think people like a mixture. That's why they don't use the same tune every week. Yeah, any other questions? All right, I'm going to stop here. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Israel Time. Anyone has any questions, find me on Facebook. I have my Chaim Kaufman, Beyond Orthodox Conversion Judaism. OrthodoxConversion.com, Beyond Orthodox Conversion Judaism on YouTube. There I got videos on Torah Portion of the Week, Q&As, Ethics for Our Fathers, Book of Leviticus. Or send me an email, rabbichaimkaufman@gmail.com, RBBICHIMCOFFMAN @gmail.com. Wish everyone a good beginning.